Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today is a Waldorf curriculum haul. So I hope you guys enjoy it. But I have a question for you first. Why are we so obsessed with curriculum? Why am I so obsessed? Why do we think we need this curriculum and we need to follow it and we get so stressed out about, are my kids going to learn everything they need to know? Are there going to be gaps? Am I doing everything? Like, we're trying to shove all this information into their heads. I want to talk a little bit about being brave and maybe going off the beaten path, off of following curriculum, more into the child-led unschooling vibe, which sits so well with my heart. So join me for this journey. I picked up a few months ago when The Good and the Beautiful were having a sale, a 15% off everything sale. I picked up a bunch of bird things because I knew I really wanted to do a bird unit, and they actually had a new bird unit, and I was tempted to pick it up. But last year doing their science units, it didn't go so well. It just wasn't in a format that sits well with my kids and works with me. Not that it's not great, it is great. But I went ahead and got a few books from them that were on sale. So I got The Boy Who Drew Birds about John J. Audubon. And I love this book. I read through it. Really pretty good pictures. Really interesting and real well written story. And then I got The Story of John J. Audubon, which I thought my older kids could read. I actually read this one night. It took about 3 hours. I'm not a fast reader. And it was really good. I really liked it. I'm going to probably instead do a read aloud this summer with the kids. And then I got this Nature Reader Birds. I already have the Nature Reader with bugs or insects. And I really liked that one. I like the pictures. I like the information. This one has 4 different kinds of birds. Oh, it's 3. So this book is about 3 different kinds of birds. Barn swallow, bob white, and the downy woodpecker. And I haven't read it yet, but if it's anything like the Nature Reader for the insects, which I'm sure it is, it follows the story of the animal and makes it into a really fun and educational adventure. It's a living book, so that one's really fun. And then Baldy I got for my daughter. It's a level 4, so I wanted to get a little bird book for each one of my kids on their level. And then Elf Owl I got because I looked at the samples of the pictures and they're beautiful. And they are. And I really, really like this book. All my kids already read it. And speaking of that, I got a bunch of books because I was so like, I'm going to do Waldorf. I'm going to take them each with their own little lesson block every day and tell them stories and do the main lesson books. And I started getting all these books from the library. For my daughter, I got like books about worms because we're going to learn about composting and gardening and all this stuff. And then for one of my older sons, I got Norse mythology and Viking books and everything. And I had all these books, and my daughter picked up the worm books and started reading it. And I was like, "Oh no, don't read that yet. That's gonna be our lesson." And she wanted to read it, and she read through it, and she read the other one. And then I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, why would I tell my child not to read a book because I wanted to teach these things to her? And sometimes we just have this mindset like we have to like lead this lesson and shove this information into their brains instead of just letting them learn what they want to learn. And then with the Norse mythology book, my 10-year-old son, got it, and it was a book like this thick. I took it back now, but it was a huge thick book, and he was just like devouring it. And I thought, that's fine, he can tell me about it, and then I won't have to read through every single one. We can just focus on the ones that he is most interested in. And then there was another Viking book, and my daughter was reading that, and it talked about Viking flatbread, and it had a recipe, and she wanted to do that, so she did that, and it was really fun. And I got to thinking, like, why, like, do we really have to do all these planned lessons, or can they just learn on their own, like, what they're interested in? before our homeschool journey began, when I was thinking about homeschooling, like right before the pandemic is actually when I started seriously thinking about homeschooling. And I picked up the audiobook Free to Learn by Peter Gray, and I found myself, as I was listening, I found myself just shaking my head and saying, yes, yes, like, it was like, why didn't I think of this before? Like, this is how we learn. This is how kids learn. Kids are curious and they want to learn, and all people learn and want to learn until that learning is squeezed out of them by sitting at a desk for hours and hours. And I really liked the idea of unschooling, and I was like researching all this unschooling, and I was like, yes, I want to do this, I want to do unschooling. Like, it was a little scary, actually a lot scary, but I wanted to do it. Anyway, we ended up not going down that path. In order to do that, both parents really have to be, committed to that, and we weren't, which is fine. So we didn't go down that path, but that still has always been in the back of my head, and I've been trying to incorporate that into our homeschool, at least a little bit, about just that idea of kids love to learn, and they will learn on their own. So as my kids were going through all these library books, and I was thinking about my daughter reading about the worms already, and by the way, she was telling her siblings all about worms, especially some interesting facts like worms are actually both male and female. Each worm is male and female, but they also need a mate to produce offspring. So that was really interesting, and she told everyone that, and they didn't believe her, and she showed the information in the book to them. And I was collecting worms too. As I was going out on my walks in the morning, I would always see worms, and I would throw them back into the grass, and I said, I'll just start collecting. So we have a little composting bin that we started, and she learned about worms, and we weren't even doing school. And then I started thinking about a previous experience that I had. I got this great idea from another Homeschooling Mama's YouTube channel that she showed on her channel about her kids reading magazines every morning, and then they would each read an article that they would pick, and then they would share it with everyone. And I thought, that's such a good idea. By golly, we're going to do it. This is going to be great. The kids are going to love it. They're going to learn how to speak publicly because most of them are very shy. And so I got them some magazines, and this was our morning basket that we were doing. This was actually before we officially started homeschooling. This was back when COVID hit and the school shut down, and so we were doing school at home, and instead of trying to do it online and follow the teacher's instructions, we were just trying out homeschool basically. We were giving it a test run. So I got the magazine that said, okay, everyone pick an article, and then we're going to share it. And they were not excited. They didn't think it was a good idea. There was grumbling and groaning, and they didn't want to do it. I bribed them with treats. I was like, okay, everyone gets a little piece of candy after they share. Some of them still wouldn't do it, especially my one who is very shy and does not like public speaking. And it was a fight. I mean, some days were okay, and they were learning some from it, but they weren't enjoying it. They weren't loving it, and it was not going super well. There was a lot of pushback. So we eventually stopped that. I can't remember when we stopped that, but we kept getting the magazine, I picked up a few magazines just at the grocery store, but I did subscribe to the Week Junior, and I didn't realize it, but they had just barely started this magazine, and I love it. It is about news, not just from the United States, but around the world. It's very, very interesting, very wonderful pictures, very good information, and the kids love it. So we're not assigned to read an article every day anymore, and we're not assigned to present it, but guess what my kids do? Every week when that magazine comes, they grab it, and they look through it, and they devour it, and they read the articles on their own time, not during school time, and they share what they learned. They share it with me, and they share it with each other, and they talk about it, and it's such a good experience. It's so much better than me saying, this is what we have to do, and you have to stand up and share it. It's just something that they naturally do, and they're loving it, and they're remembering it because it's what they want to do, and they're having discussions about it. and it's amazing. So it's like, what is wrong with us? What is wrong with our culture? We think we have to sit down these kids in desks and we have to feed them information. And I'm just, the more and more that I see my kids and I think about, you know, free to learn and the brave learner and the 5-hour school week and just all these other books that I've read, the Read Aloud Family, these are all books that I really like and that have influenced, like, kind of shaped my mindset, or like helped guide and understand myself more and what I believe more. I realized, you know what, we're gonna be brave. We are going to be brave in this 2021-22 school year. I'm gonna be brave, and I'm gonna just let most of the curriculum go, and I'm going to just let my kids learn what they want to learn. And it's going to be great. And it's a little scary to me. It's a little scary because, I mean, they have to do their end of year assessment. My husband's not necessarily all gung-ho for this whole, like, self-learning, so we're still going to be doing stuff that will satisfy that side of it, and will satisfy the assessment. We don't have to do it this year, which is kind of cool. So I've never done one, but we're going to have to do it next year most likely. So the assessment, and I'm excited. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. Okay, so first of all, this is supposed to be a curriculum haul video, right? So we're going to do a curriculum haul. First of all, I got the Good and the Beautiful Language Arts Level 4 for one of my children. I got the Good and Beautiful History Year 2, and this was a few months ago when it was on sale. And now I've sold it because I'm like, you know what? We're not doing that. We're not sitting down. We're not having any kind of workbook whatsoever. We're doing 0 workbooks this year. We're being brave. We're going out on a limb. We're going to do this. So now we're going to go through the Waldorf things that I bought. So wool, felt, real wool felt. Oh, it feels so good. It's so soft. It will last a lot longer than the stuff that you get at like craft stores. It is a lot more expensive. Instead of being about 50 cents a sheet, it's about $2 or $3 a sheet. So I got this on Amazon. National Non-Woven Wool Felt. Weircrafts, W-E-I-R. Anyway, it's a little, that's the best deal I could find it for. It's a little less expensive than like the official or unofficial Waldorf sites. So that, and then the peg dolls, the little wooden peg dolls, and then the peg doll book. So this one I just got from the library because I'm trying to save money, right? This one I bought because it wasn't available at the library, and I was really happy it wasn't because I really wanted to buy it. I really wanted to buy this one too. I probably will because we'll probably use it a lot. Even though we're not doing the original plan that I had, which was teaching each child their lesson blocks and like choosing their lessons and stuff for them. And doing all the story stuff, which we're still going to do story stuff, just not quite as often or as much. And we'll still, I mean, peg dolls are just fun. So my daughter had a blast. She made like tons of them. They're in the little video at the beginning that showed all the stuff that I got. And she loved making those, and the other kids loved making those, and I love making them too. So that's fun. Okay, next. Art supplies. So we've got the Lyra colored pencils. Love these. They are thick, they are chunky, they are so smooth. They're not round, so they don't roll away, so they're perfect for kids. And they just feel so good when you're writing with these. So the reason we got these, people who are not familiar with Waldorf and main lesson books, so these are really, really good, not only just to like do the picture, but then to do the writing with the illustration, just to make it a little prettier and more colorful. And also Beeswax Crayons, very smooth, very wonderful, and these block crayons. So these are used mainly for bordering the pages that you use in your main lesson book. So you border it with this, you write with this. I mean, you don't have to, but this is just, you know, kind of an idea of what is typically used. And then the crayons, oh no, one of them broke. Sad, we haven't even used these yet. These are expensive, by the way. It's okay that it broke. My heart's a little broken, but I'll recover. These are super smooth. It's a lot like oil pastels, but it's different. It's actually more smooth than the oil pastels and more kind of see-through, translucent, I guess, so you can kind of mix the colors and stuff. And this blend, Filana, is a newer brand, and it actually has the highest content of actual beeswax, and it goes on smoother than even the, is it the Lyra? Does Lyra make these too? There's another really popular brand, but these I was told, or I saw in a video, that were even better. And they were, I think, just a little less expensive. So I got these ones. And then I also got some Faber-Castell Beeswax Crayons. And these ones are super inexpensive. I mean, I think it was only like $8 maybe for this pack. And these are like $20 for a pack. Yeah, a little pricey. I like these ones because they have the different colors of browns and tans. And these ones are cool. I mean, they're a lot more smooth and higher quality than just a regular wax crayon, but they are definitely nothing compared to the smoothness of these ones. So, anyway, you can go for these if you still want beeswax, but not spending quite as much money. Like I said, I wanted these because it has the different colors of browns and tans. So that's good. Okay, more beeswax. These smell so good. So this is a candle making kit. So it comes with the wick stuff and the sheets of beeswax, and it has some little instructions on some ideas of how to make these candles. And so we're doing that because in Waldorf education, you must have a candle. No, it's not really required, but it's a fun thing that most Waldorf educators do. Light a candle at the beginning of the lesson and then blow it out at the end. It's kind of like, it's the rhythm. It's like the breathing in and breathing out, which is huge in Waldorf. And I just thought it would be super fun and make it a little something just to look forward to during the lesson. And we're going to use this during the morning time, gathering time, morning basket type thing. The kids will take turns each day being the one to light and blow out the candle. So that's what that is for. And then I got a wool felting kit because, you know, all this natural stuff, I thought it would be really fun. This was expensive. Yes, it was expensive. And I probably shouldn't have gotten it. And we haven't even used it yet, but I think it'll be a really fun thing. Like, we were going to do a unit on felting, and since it's going to be more child-led now, we're not going to do that with lots of different colors, but we're still going to use this. Like, I'm sure my daughter will want to use this. I actually think I'm going to use this to make little handmade gifts for them, little animals and stuff. It came with some finger protectors, some nice needles, a mat to do it on, and then I bought this extra mat as well. And I also bought extra finger protectors, so these are the leather ones. Because you have to hold the wool and then jab it with the really, really sharp needle, and so you want to have your fingers protected. It's a little scary, but it's going to be fun. And we'll use our finger protectors, not that that will 100% guarantee that no one will get poked, but definitely we'll only use this while the kids are being supervised, especially the younger ones. Well, yeah. Probably more, especially the older ones, actually. Okay, so there's all the fun supplies, art supplies. Creative form drawing. Waldorf is like total form drawing. Not total form drawing, but Waldorf incorporates form drawing. Very cool. So form drawing is basically, instead of like trying to draw like a representation, a picture, you're just doing designs, and it starts with just a straight line and then a curved line, and then it's how to put the straight lines and the curved lines together. And I'm not sure how we're gonna use this now, because originally I was gonna do like something crazy. It was like I wouldn't have been able to do it. I was gonna do 3 main lesson blocks a day and rotate my kids around so they were each with me 3 days a week, right? And I'm teaching these main lesson blocks, and then after lunch we were going to do like a unit lesson together that I was going to lead. And so this was going to be one of those unit lessons together that we were going to do. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. I might just have it out and let the kids like do it if they want to, or I might say, hey, do you want to do this? We might do it in the summer. I might do a little lesson with them, because we are still going to have a few teacher-led lesson block type things. I'm not quite sure, but it's a cool book. I like it. So Color Dynamics is another one I got to go with our Waldorf education. There is lots and lots of wet-on-wet style paintings happening in Waldorf education with the main lesson books. So we still will use this. I was going to have it as a main unit that we did together. We'll still use this as I help guide them to create their main lesson books that they're going to be doing on the subject of their choice. I also got the tasks and content of the Steiner Waldorf curriculum. So I wanted to get this because I couldn't afford to spend hundreds of dollars on each of my children's Waldorf curriculum. And I wasn't, well, I kind of was at that time really gung-ho on the Waldorf and thinking I knew what I wanted to do. I'm glad I didn't buy everybody's curriculum because that would have been hundreds of dollars and I wouldn't have really used it. But this is really, really good. It goes through each child's stage and age and the subjects you should be teaching them, but not just the subjects, but what kind of in the subject, like the specifics of the subject and how to present it. If that makes sense. So it's not like but you can't like open this up and teach like about money management, but it will tell you, okay, teach money management at this age and present it in this way. Does that make sense? And so I think it's a super good resource for anyone who's doing Waldorf education. Very good. Active Arithmetic I picked up because I wanted to really get some fun, more active ideas to incorporate into our whole school day, to incorporate math into our whole school day instead of just having it disconnected. So, teaching through stories. Jane and Jeremy learn to knit. This is my favorite book that I've gotten out of all these. Out of all the books that I've bought like lately. I love books. Even if you're not going to teach your children how to knit, even if you're not doing Waldorf style, I recommend this book. Like, it's a game changer. Almost a life changer. I'm always rushing. I'm rushing through stuff. And this like reminds me to slow down. Like slow down and breathe and take it all in. In fact, in the beginning it says, experience a different kind of learning. A kinder, gentler, unhurried lesson. Browse this book. Don't rush through it. Give yourself the same gift of time and imagination you are wanting to give the children. This is important. Model and savor unhurried education. Read a story, sleep on it, draw it the next day, allow it to grow and ripen in your imagination so it is well digested, clearly visualized, and fleshed out before you tell the story to the children. Remember, this is not fast facts. It's unhurried education. And I love that. And it talks about that so often through this book, but it's not repetitive, about unhurried education. And so that's how I've read this book. I've drawn it on it, I've written in the margins, I've highlighted my favorite things, and I haven't been in a hurry, and it's a game changer for me. Love it. Love so much from this book. Get this book, read this book. Don't hurry through it. Take your time. I got these two fun cut and assemble books, Plains Indians and Teepee Village. So I got these originally for my daughter, who one of her focuses in her Waldorf curriculum this year was going to be Native Americans and house building. And I still think we're going to do the house building with some Native American stuff. If not, I'll just put this out and let them use it the way they want. Filbert Fills a Photon. I thought this one was a cute story. It's rhyming text about light. And I was going to use this for my oldest's curriculum. Part of it we were going to learn about physics and light. As of now, I'm not sure how we're going to use it. I'll probably read it to them. Maybe I'll just put it out, let them read it. Whatever. Math in the Garden. I love this. I really want math to be something that they see as fun and something they see as useful. And this is great because it's doing projects using math in the garden. So we are going to use this too. Like I said, we're going to have a few lessons that are parent-led or blocks that are parent-teacher led. And so we're going to use that for this for that. Yeah, that's my book haul. I do have one more. Dun, dun, dun. Cicadas. Cicadas, Strange and Wonderful. This actually wasn't for our curriculum because obviously it's summertime and cicadas come out in the summer, and Bird 10's coming. They're coming and they haven't come yet because it's been kind of cold, but we're so excited for it to warm up and for them to all pop out of the ground and fly all over. So this book had really, really, really good information, really great pictures. Lots of good information. My kids just picked this up and read it on their own. I need to read it to my youngest, who is not a proficient reader yet. My favorite part about this book probably is this back section. They have a table and a map of the different broods and when they will emerge and the regions they'll emerge in, and then the map here shows where they're gonna pop out, and some of them have become extinct, so it shows a few of those too. So this year is Brood 10. Last time they emerged was 2004. So Delaware, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, and West Virginia. That is where, so if you live in any of those states, be excited, they are coming. This also talks about annual cicadas and just, everything about cicadas. Really good. Get this book if you want to learn about cicadas. That is the end of my book haul / curriculum haul / be brave video. I will get another video up that talks about how we are going to be doing this whole Waldorf / student-led learning / unschooling thing. I have a plan that I think is finally, I've been planning this for months, I've been tweaking my plan for months, and I think I finally have something that is going to work for us, and I'm really excited about it, and I'm excited to share it, and I'm most excited for you to follow your own heart and not do what everyone's telling you to do, and just find what works for your family and what works for your situation, and just spend time with your kids and connect with them, whether you homeschool or you don't. Take them in your arms, take them in your lap, have that connection with them as you read to them, as you tell them stories, as you play with them, and have a great week, you guys. I will see you later. Bye.